ready? We're going to start in the holy pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. And this is a hips and hamstrings class. So we're going to actually start with a strap and take the strap around the waist. Soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. There we go. Making sure that the strap is not on the foot. And let's take the strap underneath the hip line. Gently leaning back. Good. So it takes a few moments for the spine to adjust to this supported back bend. But it addresses opening the upper chest as well as the pelvic floor, so that's why I call it the holy pose. This is a deep spinal extension. And we have the opportunity to start to connect with the breath. So let's start to breathe together now. Let's take a slow, smooth inhale and take that breath right up into the upper chest. Take your time with the breath as you allow the breath to explore the collarbone area. Slow, smooth exhale, following all the way through that exhale. Feel that exhale travel out through the sits bones. Start to feel a sense of letting go through that exhale. Another slow, deep inhale, starting to create some movement in the body with the breath. Allowing the breath to start to take the lead in the effort. Allowing the mind to start to fall away now. Letting the mind go. Letting that conversation with ourselves go, and allowing the breath to lead the way. Let's take the hands to the elbows, reaching the elbows up and overhead, gently widening the outermost arm away from the center line. Feel the stretch come through that armpit chest and then widen from the center of the armpit out to the sides. So feel the sense of the outer arms drawing away from the center line of the body. Breathe deeply. Take the elbows back down and now change the clasp of the hands to the elbows. You'll find this is the more awkward side typically. So approach it with an open mind as you reach the elbows up and overhead. Allow the breath to start to create that space for you. So it's at this moment where we start to let go of the doing. Allow the breath to lead the effort. Allow the mind to be soft. Soft with the breath. I am not the mind, I am not the body. Starting to create space, starting to create separation between you, the mind, the body. arms to the T position. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Feel the sits bones. Grip the earth as you inhale, lifting through the crease of the armpit chest. So that crease, right where the arm meets the torso, lifts through the inhale. And we continue that sense of lifting through the exhale as we release the shoulders down away from the ears. So the front of the body is still opening, and we just start to create some space between the shoulders and ears as we let the shoulders drop down away from the ears. Pressing through the outsides of the feet from the back outer heel along that line of awareness into the baby toe. So we create this seam with the outer feet as we open the big toes away from each other, opening the feet like a book, widening the toes to create further sensation in the hips. So as we start to explore widening the toes, we can feel this travel up through the deep front line of the hip. We can feel how the toes are connected to the groin, to the hips. The feet connected to the groin. So when we have our feet open, for instance, in Padmasana, we want to have those feet soft to keep the groin soft and open as well. So in order to bring the legs down, we lengthen from the hip along the top of the thigh out through the knees, creating that leg through the tops of the thighs. And the contraction in the shin area helps to release the knees down, working from the center of the buttocks. Let's slowly release, and let's walk the hands up, coming up to a seated position, and just move your blocks off to the side. Scoot a little further forward, and let's remove the strap. So just moving the belt buckle away from you to slide and open the strap. And then let's keep the feet together in the Baddha Konasana pose, and just open your blanket, placing it over the tops of the feet. And let's bring the sits bones as close to the heels as we can. And just come down for another moment here, letting the knees fall out to the sides. So let's work from the center of the buttocks. Feel the center of your buttocks grow little roots through the earth. Feel the belly drop, so we start to minimize that hyperextension in the back, drawing the lower ribs towards the hips. So even though the thighs are rolling out, we create a second double action by tucking the tailbone, drawing the lower ribs to the hips. Eventually, these hip bones, to create space from the hip to the lower ribs, draw away from each other. And we create this action by lengthening those thighs right out to the kneecaps to release the knees, not by actually pulling the legs down. And this way we create both space from the ribs to the hips in the front of the body, and we create space in the back of the body from the lower ribs down towards the buttocks. So we're creating space. Creating space, breathing to allow the breath to move freely through the body so it can do its job, the natural negotiator of tension in the body. It's a neutral force. It has no bias, so let it do its job, let it perform its magic. Pressing the feet, tucking the tailbone. Lift the knees up and draw the thighs to the chest and just rock here from side to side, releasing through your lower back and hips. And let's roll to the right using your left hand and your right elbow to press me up. Good. So, Jen, let's just start with the legs extended long in Dandasana. See if you can reach through the balls of the feet to drop the backs of the thighs down and lift through the side, armpit, chest. That's it. Elbows back. Good job. So reach through the balls of the feet. See if you can make your legs longer and longer and longer. The kneecaps are lifting, the backs of the thighs are dropping down. And then let's take the right hand and just open that right thigh. Dropping it down. Let's take the brick. My favorite action to roll that right thigh. So the Baddha Konasana leg is externally rotating like we were just speaking about. So let's start that initial action of externally rotating the hip. So you can see I'm slightly gazing to the right because it's easier to rotate that right hip by looking to the right. And then keeping that right hip rolling that way, then start to take the belly and the right ribs over towards the left thigh. So we lift and twist while we're up, shoulders down away from the ears. So we're keeping that right leg rolling back, the belly and the right ribs towards the inner left thigh. Let's take the left hand to the left foot to start. Press the back of that left thigh down. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. So lift and lengthen through the front of the body, shoulders away from the ears. Good job. Release the block, take the right hand to meet the left. So again, press down to the back of the left thigh, lift through the side body. Because we're working from the crease. So this action comes from the crease of the hip, not from rounding in the upper spine. Walk the hands back in, and let's lift the right knee up, extend the leg long, reaching through the balls of the feet. Let's take the left hand and draw that left leg out to the side, and let's roll that left thigh out. So the left thigh now rolls out. It's Baddha Konasana leg on the left, Dandasana leg on the right. So we engage both legs, they're just doing different things. Feel that external rotation. Maybe you can participate by feeling that left gluteus medius start to connect down into the floor. And then let's start to bring the right hand to those left ribs and turn the ribs and the belly towards the right thigh. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Let's take the right hand to the outer right foot. So see if you can lift through the sides of the body, press the back of that right thigh down, and to further drop the back of that thigh down, reach through the ball of that right foot. It will help to release the leg. And then if we're lucky enough, we can feel the floor with the back of that right thigh, and there's a crease there right where the leg meets the buttocks. Widen that crease from the inner to the outer leg. So that back, upper thigh, right where the crease of the leg is, widen from the inner to the outer thigh. And then lift one more time through the sides of the body. Left hand to meet the right. shoulders down, lift from the sits bones. Make that right leg longer and longer and longer. Good job. So that's release. Very nice. So we're just having a little fun here, right, Jen? Okay, let's take the foot and the ankle with both hands. So we work from the foot and ankle, not from the foot at the bottom, or I should say right here. Let's lift that left leg and see if you can bring that left ankle to that right hip. Good. And now let's bring the right foot round. Hold on. Up, round, and bring the left hip down. That's it. So bring that left thigh around. You got it. We're just playing around here. So we're just trying to get into these happy hips. That's it. So we eventually want to come in towards, so not that I would ever think about binding, but we're at least getting this left. So if you can bring your knee a little further forward, walk your foot in a little further. That's it. So walk the foot in more. Good. So we keep this left foot flexed but soft, and this helps to keep the groin open and soft. Good. And then let's slowly release. Good. So let's take the knee and let's lift the leg from the ankle, taking the right ankle up to the left hip. So the foot is soft but flexed. The right thigh is rolling out, so it's an external rotation to start. And then that's it. We come around to the right leg. So bring that right knee a little further forward. So try to come forward. Yeah, that's it, Jen. Badly needed, aren't they? They're badly needed. That's why we do them. We're just breaking them down, doing little things, because the hips are complicated. So some movements are very easy for us, and some are very difficult. So we just explore. So eventually we're working in, coming further, further in, maybe, and eventually we would bind, or who knows what we would do. We could do all sorts of things. Let's put the leg down like so. Nope, we keep the foot up, so that right foot is still up on the left hip. So Jen, this is very much up to you how far you want to take this pose, okay? We're on this side, so we can do this. Just taking the strap around the outer thighs to lean back. If we think we can manage a little more, you can try and take your left foot over the right, coming into Padmasana, the full pose, not just half. And then we use the strap so that when we lay back, we don't lose the legs and they don't fall apart. So take a look. Good, so we lift up, we're not staying for long. And then slowly working from the center, start to drop the legs down. So you can use a bolster if you wanted behind the backs of the legs, but we're not going to be here for that long. We're just looking, try not to make that lower back hypermobile. We again think about lengthening the thigh bones from the hip out through the kneecaps. So there's two actions again. We can feel a sense of the thighs drawing in, or we can use the resistance of the strap, pressing the thighs into the strap.
Working to lengthen those thighs, and that's what will drop the legs down, not by pulling the legs and popping up for the lower back. So over time, the body starts to accept new places, new memories of the muscles. So we only work to that place where we feel we're making progress. So the alternative to this would be to only have one foot in Padmasana. So we would just have the leg sort of in a semi-cross position. And then let's slowly release. Let's open the legs. Let's come into Uttanasana. So I'm taking the hands behind to shift and bring those sits bones so that I'm as forward as I can be, and then work to lengthen the legs. Lengthen your legs. Yes. So we start to search for those muscles and wrap those muscles around the bone, and it takes a while. It takes a few minutes in this pose. See if you can reach ever so slightly forward to the balls of the feet and spread the toes wide, avoiding the dead cowboy look. But we're going to do a little something extra in this pose today. So we're going to try and lift the legs one at a time, and there's a bit of a trick here, so I'm going to open that left leg and tilt slightly to the right to lift the leg. See if you can do that. It's harder than it looks. That's it. So we're lifting from the bottom of the leg up. Over to the other side, so tilt the leg out, and lift, that's it, lift, and lengthen. Good. Let's come a little further forward. Good job. Reach and lengthen those legs. Lengthen those legs. Oh, good, Jen. The hip just dropped. So that's where it really becomes a happening. You weren't telling the body to do this, it just happens. Good example. All right, hands to the outer legs, so we don't ever strain the inner legs. And let's go and do the other side now. So let's take the right foot, working from the ankle to the left hip. So if this is as far as you want to go, this is okay. Totally fine. Or take the foot over. I may not be here for long. Sometimes one side is significantly different than the other. So just doing what you can. Working from the center. Try not to let that back become a huge back bend. That's it. So feel your sits bones and then lengthen your thighs from your hips. Feel your sacrum. Feel that center. And then slowly the legs start to come down. Anytime if you wanted to bring a bolster behind the backs of the legs, this is an option. Otherwise, just working on your own. So we want those hip bones eventually microscopically moving away from the ribs. So away from us to create space in both the front and the back. And then let's slowly come back up. Removing the happy strap. Straightening the legs. Ouch. Yeah. Highly effective. Highly effective. That's it. And now let's just cross the ankles. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, arms extended long in Adho Mukha Virasana. If you would like to support the head, feel free, it's entirely up to you. Let your breath lead the effort. And then let's slowly lift the hips, shoulders down away from the ears, elbows are straight. Let's create that sense of drawing the outer forearms in, tuck the toes in and under, leading with your sit bones. Let's come up into downward dog. Lift your kneecaps first and foremost. Lift those kneecaps like crazy. Pressing through the balls of the feet, see if you can widen the base, widen the ball, the whole front part of the foot. Lengthening through those ankles at the back as though you were making them narrower and narrower. Shoulders away from the ears. And then draw the outer forearms in to lock the shoulders down away from those ears. So to create a little more length through the side body, to lengthen the spine in this pose, without bringing the sacrum forward, lift your heels ever so slightly. So it's this very small move, lifting the heels slightly, without bringing your hips or sacrum forward, and then let's take the heels down, lifting those kneecaps up. Good job. Let's drop the knees down. So now we're going to do Supta Padangusthasana. So it's up to you if you'd like something underneath the back of the head. And this is what we're going to do. So have your strap nearby. And I'm going to demonstrate. All right, so just take a look. Let's bring the heels to the wall. And I just happen to be lucky and my blanket's exactly where it should be. And then we're going to open the right groin here. So, we are going to take the strap around the ball of the left foot. So close off that strap and make that loop so it can fit snug to the foot. And it's up to you if you want to have a loop or not. And then we're going to take this block underneath the left hip slightly. So if it's too much for you, you can always grab a foam block, Jen. But see this? See how the brick is like so? And my right heel is at the wall. And then take a look at what happens here. So as I open this left leg out to the side, I keep in mind that I want to keep the pelvis level. So I only take the left leg down so that these two are on the same axis. Okay. And you see this creates a very deep opening through that right groin. We just take the arm out to the side. So we're eventually taking the left leg down, but in conjunction with the right. So at some point, if we can take the big toe with the index and middle finger of the left hand, feel free. Otherwise, we're just working here. And the purpose is to open that right groin in order to prepare the pelvis and hips for our standing poses. So look for the breath and use that breath to work those muscles tighter to the bone. Just a few more breaths here. How are you doing, Jen? Good?
Yeah, I think so.
Great. And then let's slowly lift the leg back up. Good job. And let's release the leg and just take a supine Tadasana. So bring the heels together to the wall. Urdhva that's interlace the hands, taking the arms overhead. Press through your heels, tuck, tuck, tuck. Feel your sits bones draw towards your heels. Very nice. So let's do the other side. Let's thank God we only have two sides. So we keep the left heel to the wall, and let's take the break now underneath the right hip, just slightly to the right, and let's bring the strap around the right foot. It's much easier to link your whole hand through the loop as opposed to holding onto the end of the strap. And then we open that right leg, only so long as we can keep everything in balance here. So this is a deep opening for the pelvis. Deep opening for the hamstrings. So let's take a few deep breaths. Deep breaths, breathe deeply. And then let's slowly come back up. Let's release the leg. And now let's thread the arms through the legs and take the outsides of the feet. For a happy baby, if you need to take your shins, feel free. And then see if you can take your sits bones and your tailbone towards the floor, lengthening through the lower back. Breathing deeply if you can. So sometimes you can see I would probably do a little better with a little more support underneath the head. But that's okay. And then let's slowly release. And let's roll over to the right. And let's make our way up. And let's take the ropes this time. So we're going to cross one rope underneath the other. And put that right foot through the rope. You're holding with the left hand. That's it. Shift your mat. So Jen, those ones are going to be longer ropes, so just place 2 blocks against the wall. Exactly. And then let's come forward, keeping that resistance. Let's bring the heels to the wall. So the closer the feet together, the more advanced the down dog will be. The lower the heels again, the more advanced the pose becomes. Let's walk the hands forward. And let's press those heels into the wall, stretch the armpit chest forward. Dropping your head, drop your chest. Take your lower ribs now towards your hips as you stretch your chest towards your hands. And now scoop those sits bones down to your heels. Drop your head, drop your chest. Right hand to that left shin as you look underneath your left underarm. So let's press through that right heel and tuck that right sits bone in particular, in and under. So this twist starts from here, in that right sits bone. Right hand back to meet the left. And let's take the left hand now to the right leg. Looking underneath the right arm, scooping that left sits bone in and under, lengthening through the side of the body, following through the exhale. Good. Left hand back to meet the right. Let's lift the chest one more time, lengthening the spine. And let's walk the hands to the feet to the hands. Slowly coming up. Should we do this? Oh, we're almost done, I think. Yeah. Okay. So let's take our cork blocks since we're standing here. We're just going to take our cork blocks for Ardha Chandrasana. But let's set the hips in the right alignment here. So let's take the left foot straight back so that the heel and the hip are in line. And you see how this right hip is nicely stacked above the knee and ankle? You don't want to have the foot way forward. And then let's take that right hand and draw that right hip back. So this right sits bone scoops in and under, and then press to the heels as you lengthen. That's it. Reaching the right arm forward. Pressing through the left heel. Pressing through the right heel. That's it. Lift and lengthen. Let the breath lead the effort here. take the right hand down, so depending where you are on the block, let's turn the left foot out 90 degrees without losing this right sits bone tucking in and under. So we keep the right sits bone, drawing back, and let's lift the left arm. So we want to feel this right sits bone draw back towards the wall, and then press through both heels. So we feel the sense of length from the lower back down through the center of the buttocks. And these outer buttocks cheeks are drawing in. Breathe deeply, Ardha Chandrasana. See if you can lift the heel even higher. Press through the heels, lengthen through the sides of the buttocks. Good, one more time. Lift the leg, lengthen through the center of the buttocks. Press through your heels. And then let's take the left hand down, drop the left foot down. And let's just fold forward here. So have your hips so they're stacking up the knees. Bring the weight far enough forward into the front of the feet so that alignment is there. You don't want to have the hips behind the heels, because that suggests that you might be in your ligaments, and ligaments are to limit. They don't stretch back, so don't live in your ligaments. All right, let's come back up. This time let's take the right foot to the wall. Feel that left sits bone draw back, so we have this length through the left side. Tuck the left sits bone in and under as you lift the chest. Reach the left arm forward. Good. So press through the heels, lift and lengthen. Breathe deeply. So this is a great movement, not just for the hips, but for the back. And then let's take the left hand down, turn the right foot out 90 degrees without losing this left hip. Let's lift the right arm up. Good. So outer buttocks, cheeks draw in. Lengthen from the center of your buttocks all the way down through that crease, that crack. Let's lift the right leg. A little more. Press through your heels. Good. So feel those outer buttocks, cheek working. That's it. Good job. One more time. Lift the leg. Ooh, good job. Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand down, right leg down. And let's bend the knees here. Let's bring the balls of the feet together so the big toes are touching, inner heels touching, knees wide. And let's press the inner heels down, sitting back. That's it. Sitting back some more. Press your inner heels down. Good. And let's draw the knees together. And let's just come back now. So I think we're almost done, Jen. Let's take the legs up the wall. So we have just a few moments here. So Viparita Karani is one of those poses that is a therapeutic pose. And therapeutic suggests huge value for both the body and the mind. So we take the bolster about 4 inches from the wall, we place the blanket with the creases of the edges facing in, and then we come and sit sideways. And let's get those buttocks, cheeks to the wall, shoulder down, and now legs up. So therapeutic. Elbows are slightly bent. So we're now inverted where the head is lower than the heart. So all the vital signs are changing. But this is a recharging of the batteries of the central nervous system. And we're still in the back bend. And the newest studies coming out are suggesting that inversions reduce
glutamine and plaque in the brain on an MRI. And Canadians are one of the leading sufferers of these type of diseases. So putting your legs up for 20 minutes in the day can go a long way towards a healthy body and a healthy mind. So let's start to make our way down and just lay flat, just for 1 minute, just for a moment. Viparita Karani can be a substitute for the child's pose. But we're just going to let all of the vital signs return back to neutral, bringing the blanket underneath the back of the head so the blood pressure stays nice and neutral. And the feet are just ever so slightly apart, elbows to the floor, shoulders tuck in and under. And just let your palms lay flat. Stay here as long as we want in Shavasana. This is the one pose where all of the different yoga systems agree. It allows us to integrate the efforts of our practice. So namaste.